What's the vibe? You seen it. We're gonna cut straight to the chase. Let's talk about it. Fragrance Story killed. Not even finna cut no corners on this one here. I told you all on my last video how Fragrance Story drug was my introduction to the house. My interest in it was extremely high. I was very excited. So during the time of me getting ready to grab that, they came out with Kill. So I was even more excited to grab this one. It just so happened that they had a bundle on all three fragrances in this particular line. So I'm in for the ride. I'm getting drugged. I'm gonna grab the Kill. Why not grab the OG Mafia? So this one here, on initial blast, I wasn't all that sold on it. You know, this is one of the ones that was hyped more out of all other fragrances in this line. The hype behind this was in beast mode. Like, you seen tons of reviewers all speaking extremely high of this fragrance. You know, it was almost so much hype behind it that I damn near didn't even grab it, because usually when the hype is so big like that, the fragrance usually don't, you know, it don't live up to it. You know, it's something about it that disappoints you, that make you feel like, you know, it was a letdown. That was the case with this one when I first initially sprayed it. You know, it was nothing special about it. Nothing. I actually was disappointed when I sprayed it. You know, it was potent, it was strong, projecting. It even smelled good. Like it really smelled good in its initial opening. I was disappointed because they had got me so high off of the fragrance that I expected for it to just blow me away as soon as I sprayed it. Like, that anticipation of that first, you know, whiff of it had me so high that I was like, man, you know, when I sprayed it, it took me from here. I ain't gonna say that, but it took me down. It had me disappointed. You know, I was like, damn, you know, it ain't living up to the hype. You know, the hype beast mode, it tore me down. And the first thing I thought was, yeah, cap. I thought it was all cap. However, in the dry down, this thing started performing. It literally changed. It literally changed. The smell that I got when it opened was not what I had when it dried down. I kid you not. I sprayed it on, left the house, went to the gas station. I was on my way to work. A young lady walking just like right before me, grabbed the door, turned around, looked at me, and held the door open for me. I come in, she came in behind me. I went and did what I had to do. She went to the counter, purchased her stuff, turned around, looked me in the face, stopped at the door. I finished purchasing my stuff. When I turned around to walk out, she was standing by the door, waiting for me to pass. I walked out. She came out behind me. That was my very first encounter with, engaging somebody with this fragrance on. Jumped in the car, headed to work. Saw a friend that I know that worked night shift. She was leaving. Hey, I hadn't seen each other in a while. I kid you not, no exaggeration. And I don't hype any fragrances. None at all. I hype none. If it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good. If it's great, it's great. She told me that this fragrance, well, she said, damn, you smell good as hell. No cap. None whatsoever. Appreciate it, thank you. Kept it moving. Get inside the building. This thing is still performing, mind you. This thing is still performing. It's still, I can smell it. I know it's on me. Some fragrances, they drift in and out. Some fragrances, they may even be, over the top. This was not an over the top fragrance at all. Under no circumstances was I choked out, did I overspray, any of that. However, this fragrance to me, it felt like it was just an average fragrance. It felt like it was just on me. I could smell it. It smelled good, but it was not the wow factor. It was not the fragrance that had me like, man, this is a beast. It was not that. However, this thing was performing. May not have been performing for me, but this thing was performing for everybody around me. Later that day, I ran into a couple of guys that, one of the guys told me, look, man, no Diddy. What you wearing, man? Straight up, what you wearing, bro? What is that? So, to me, it's a fragrance that will trick you. It literally would trick you, bro, into believing that it's not beast mode. It will literally trick you into believing that it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Yes, it smells good. Yes, you can smell it. Yes, it's projecting. All that. But to me, it felt like it was just an average fragrance. Like nothing special. No, nothing. To me, it felt like it was I just had it on and it smelled good and it was just a normal, average fragrance. However, the people that came in contact with this, that were bold and brave and willing enough to say something about it, said something about it. No doubt. I wore a drug the day before. I made it smell good. It was a nice fragrance. But it never had anybody say, damn, or what you got on, or the reaction that I got. Because remember, I told you, a lot of the times you may not get compliments, but you will get physical compliments. People circling you, people in your bubble, people, you can see them, in your peripheral lingering around. It's that scent. This fragrance is not one of those ones, and I'm not going into notes because, I'm just telling you my experiences with these fragrances. I'm talking about, I'm putting the fragrance out in the field and testing the fragrances instead of giving you notes and telling you, breakdowns of notes and similarities and all of that. I'm giving you what I feel about the fragrance and how it performed for me. This thing, it lasted, like I still smell it on me now. And that's off skin. It's a little close to the skin, but I still can smell it on my skin. I sprayed this thing on at, what, 6 in the morning? Oh, and another thing, I usually will put my spray on in the bathroom. I'll put my fragrances on in the bathroom. I'll spray a few times in the bathroom. This morning, my lady was asleep. She didn't have to work today. I had to work. So I go in the bathroom, spray, come back in the room, and she said, I smell you all the way in here. That was the very first before I even left the house. She told me this and she was still in bed. She asked me, which one is that? I told her this the new one, the red one. She said, that smell good. That was the, I still didn't smell it right then and there. It didn't, you know, I mean, I smelled it, but it didn't have that. I was still disappointed because the hype behind it, which is something that, you know, I'm kind of stressing in this video. Sometimes the hype can actually distort how you perceive a fragrance, because the hype will build in your mind what you think the fragrance should be, instead of allowing the fragrance to be what it is and let it do what it do. So this one actually taught me a lesson on fragrances, you know, and the hype behind the fragrance, yeah, it's that. It's beast mode. It's definitely that. It's definitely that. And I'm just speaking out of my own personal experiences. I don't care about what nobody else said about it, because that's their own personal views on it. My experience with it today was a beautiful experience that started from a shitty perspective. You know, I went into it on hype mode and was taken down by the expectations of the hype, and actually lived through the hype by experiencing it myself. Like, I seen what this fragrance did and was like, damn, he really him. So my experiences with it, you know, definitely, and this is like, it's still pretty cold here where I'm at. You know, I'm in the Midwest, I'm in Chicago, so it's pretty cold up here. I had a coat on, everything, hoodie, all that. So just imagine, this is a summer fragrance. Imagine how this thing is gonna perform when it get warm, when it get hot. This thing is really gonna perform. Like, you may only need a few sprays. But yeah, that's my experience with this. Man, I'm extremely glad that I grabbed it. I'm extremely glad because, you know, had I have been like, you know what, they hyping it up, it ain't what they saying it is, you know, I ain't even gonna give it a shot. But hey, I tested it out myself, and as a believer, he killed it. He killed it. And this is one of those fragrances that's on the low. Like, it's not a very expensive fragrance. This is not one of those ones that's gonna break your pockets. You know, Fragrance Story didn't hide a hand in your pocket like Debo, what you got on my 40. You know, it's definitely, you know, not having you tuck your chains in. Here come Debo. You know what I'm saying? This a fragrance that it's affordable, and the quality of it, I mean, it's living up to what you're paying for it. So, and my experience was with it, you know, I'm loving it. And I'm glad that I bought it. I'm gonna wear it this summer as much as possible. Try to alternate, you know, between the others. But so far, I'm taking kill over drug. And it's not even close. So thanks for watching this video. I'm about to shut it down. Please like, subscribe, and share. Jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. Throw something out there if you got it. Let me know how I perform for you. If you don't have it and you're interested in it, got some questions, hit me up. You can find this on TikTok, Amazon, Google it. You can find it pretty much anywhere. It's not a hard to find fragrance. Run it down, see what it do for you. But for me, it held its own. And I'm loving it. I'm out of here. Peace.